So my name is Lelita Baldock, and I am an author of historical fiction represented by London-based literary agency Intersaga. I have been writing informally for probably about 20 years, which is crazy, but I finally decided to follow this passion and start really trying to make a career out of it back in 2018. So coming up on 5 years of it being my real focus. It is certainly my passion, and it is the thing that I love to do most. My latest book is called Where the Gulls Fall Silent. See? It is a novel set on the Cornish coast in the mid-1800s, exploring the life of people in the fishing villages that were along that coast. Fishing was a really big part of Cornish life. And I wanted to sort of explore that way of life, that history, that everyday. The story was absolutely inspired by the people of Cornwall. I had the absolute pleasure of going there for a holiday with my family and my husband in 2019, and I met the locals, I walked the rugged, beautiful coastlines, and I just fell in love with the place, to be honest. But the legends and the stories and the superstitions and the traditions of the people of Cornwall really captivated my imagination, and I wanted to know more. I wanted to know how life every day went about, and I wanted to research that and tell that story. So that's what the catalyst was for Where the Gulls Fall Silent. The women of Cornwall. So my main protagonist, her name is Carenza. She's a young woman, and we go through her story of growing up, her trials and tribulations, and ultimately, hopefully, triumphs. But there's a lot of sadness and challenge along the way. I think we see so many stories, rightly so this isn't a criticism, but we see so many stories about the harsh life of the men. It was dangerous work, fishing off the coast of Cornwall. The storms in the Atlantic Ocean were very deadly. Things went wrong. So I can see why that story has been explored so very much. But what about the women left behind? What happened to them? What was their daily experience? What was their role in society? Because these things didn't all happen in a bubble. The men had to come home. Life had to go on land as well. So I was really captivated by that side of the story about the women and how they overcame those hardships and how they banded together in community to make it through. So that's what inspired my main character, Carenza. Everything. Sorry, it's a very visceral, very, very intense and personal question. I've always been drawn to words. I've always been drawn to stories. I think I love exploring emotion and people and history and how big world events intersect with everyday people. So that whole idea of how we experience the world and how the world impacts us and what that means for individuals. So whilst I love the big grand historical stories, I'm always more drawn to the personal impacts of that and what people have experienced and how they've overcome. So that is probably where I find my joy in writing and researching as a historical fiction author. Go for it. It can feel overwhelming, it can feel like a mountain to climb, it can feel like just an impossibility for you to achieve. It is not. Break it down. What is your story? What will your chapters be? Do your research, outline your characters, have a series of events that are going to lead up to what you want your story to tell, and just write it. Don't worry if your first draft is a bit rubbish. We all start that way. Everyone's first draft is a bit rubbish. That's just life. You are not going to write the perfect novel in your first go. But that's okay. The beauty and the joy and the growth comes from the experience, comes from working on it, comes from your development, and you can absolutely do it. So I think definitely planning, and definitely researching depending on your topic. But most importantly, just do it. Just give it a go. You can edit words on a page. You can't edit a blank page. So back yourself and give it a shot. All three of my novels, Widow's Lace, The Unsound Sister, and Where the Gulls Fall Silent, are available through Amazon in paperback and e-reader. So you can head over there and you can have a read all about them. They're also on KPD, so you can free read as well. I would love you to give them a go. And if you do, please do send me a message or contact me on social media. I would love to hear your feedback. I always enjoy that. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Thank you very much, JJ from The Table Read, for having me, and I'll hopefully speak to you all again soon. Bye.